Okay, last class we looked at finding slope from 2 points. Today what we're going to do is use the slope and a point to graph a line, and then we're also going to look at some parallel and perpendicular lines. So when we look at this one, we have the point 3, -2 with a slope of 1. So the first thing we want to do every single time is graph this point right here. So that point, if we graph it, is 3, -2. Plot that point with a slope of 1/2. So that means from this point, we're going to go, remember slope is rise over run, so up 1 over 2. And then we're going to draw our line in to graph our line. So plot the point and then find another point using the slope. If we look at another one, again, first plot the point, -4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Our slope is negative this time. So if our slope is negative, what we want to do is we want to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 5. So if your slope is positive, you go up and to the right 5. If your slope is negative, you are going to go down and to the right 5. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Another thing that we're going to do is look at parallel and perpendicular lines. So what we want to do is remember what is happening. So when we look at this, we remember that parallel lines have the same slope. And then we also know that perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals of their slope. So keep that in mind. Remember a negative reciprocal, just to remind you of what that is. Say that you had a slope of 2/3. The negative reciprocal, you flip it. So change your fraction, flip your fraction, and make it negative. If I had a slope of -1/2, if I flip it, it would be 2 over 1, and because this was negative, this would be positive, so that would just be 2. So you flip your fraction and change it to the opposite sign. So using slopes, we're going to determine if lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. We're going to start by looking through the points. 2 points. We're going to look through the points -1, 2, and 3, 5, and then 2 points here. So the first thing we do, take our first 2 points, -1, 2, and 3, 5, and then we want to determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So the first thing we're going to do is find the slope right here. So remember, take our y's. So we would have 5 minus 2, this is what we learned last time, over 3 minus -1. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus a negative means we're adding, so 4. So the slope is 3/4. Then we're also going to find the slope of these 2 points. So again, 10 minus 7 over 8 minus 4. So on the top I get 3, on the bottom I get 4. So these 2 things are equal. When you find the 2 slopes and they're equal, then the lines are parallel. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. And then here's another one. On this one, I'm going to change your points up a little bit. So we're going to keep the -2, 1, and the 4, 5, but I'm going to change this point here. Instead of 0, 2, we're going to make this point 0, 3, and we're going to make this point over here 2, 0. Switch them up a little bit. So take my first 2 points. So I'm going to take my first 2, -2, 1, and 4, 5. We're going to find the slope. So I'm going to have 5 minus 1 over 4 minus -2. So this gives me 4 over, on the bottom we would get 6. Reduce that. I get 2/3 for this slope. For my second set of points, remember I changed these. So this is going to be 0 minus 3 over 2 minus 0. So it gives me a -3 on top and a 2 on bottom. So these 2, they're negatives and they're reciprocals. So these are negative reciprocals. So that means these 2 lines are perpendicular. Now, if you would have got that they weren't reciprocals and they weren't the same, then you would write neither as your answer, just depending on what is happening. So I know in your notes we have a couple more. We're not going to do this one, so just scratch it off. You don't have to worry about it. We're also not going to do in, so you can scratch it off and not worry about it. And then you have your assignment that you will work on. Have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions.